The New York Jets are hiring Darren Mougey as their next GM, as revealed by Josina Anderson, as he and Aaron Glenn are the future of the New York Jets, as Woody Johnson feels like he finally got it right after all this time. Thank you in huge part to the 33rd team, the consulting firm that they hired, that also helped the Washington Commanders figure it out, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things, as always, because the New York Jets are back, man. And if you guys are part of the 80% of viewers that are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to Jets Digest for daily news, updates, Matt's mock drafts usually on Saturdays. Live streams are coming. TikToks are coming. We got a bunch of fun stuff happening this offseason, and you guys don't want to miss out if you're a Jets fan. But let's jump into it. The New York Jets, man, they have a general manager. Darren Mougey has been hired. The assistant GM of the Denver Broncos last year now takes his first general manager job as the New York Jets have a first-time GM and a first-time head coach all in one as they try to right the ship. Mougey is very, 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 very respected around the NFL, and Josina Anderson was the one to break this news, saying that a high-level league source told her that Denver Broncos assistant GM Darren Mougey is getting the New York Jets general manager job, which has been confirmed as true. And as the Jets press broke it down, just discussing Mougey as a whole, when George Patton took over as the Broncos general manager in 2021, he chose not to part ways with Mougey, as he did with several other holdover executives. Instead, Patton promoted Mougey to the role of director of player personnel. That speaks volumes on his reputation with the team's building. Mougey was once again promoted to the assistant general manager in 2022 and became Patton's right-hand man. Remarkably, after 3 years earlier, he was still serving as a lowly area scout, a testament to his rapid rise within the Broncos organization. Mougey is very respected, as mentioned. The man, he's an endless hard worker. It was expected that he would get his chance to be a general manager very soon. Many people who know him well thought that he deserved a chance to become a GM, and now he gets it from the New York Jets. Now, the New York Jets brain trust, there was only a couple guys in there. There was obviously Woody Johnson. There was team president Jaime Alei. There was the 33rd team. That's who was there really discussing this GM search. Obviously, the 33rd team had a massive say in what was going down, and I do think they were one of, if not the biggest impact on the New York Jets' great run through hiring people. The 33rd team, if you guys don't know, but I imagine you do, real quick, is a consulting firm. They also work in media, and it's ran by Mike Tannenbaum, who used to be the Jets GM, and Rick Spielman, who used to be the Vikings GM. The two created this consulting firm. They were hired by the Washington Commanders, who obviously selected Jaden Daniels, who had maybe the greatest rookie year of any quarterback ever. On top of that, we just saw a remarkable turnaround for them. I mean, they're a friggin' game away from the Super Bowl right now. They were terrible last year. It literally speaks volumes on what the 33rd team was able to help, or who they were able to help the Commanders hire. Now they've done it with the New York Jets. I mean, Aaron Glenn's so well respected. A bunch of teams wanted him. The Jets got him. Darren Mougey, very well respected. Was expected to get I don't know if I mixed that up. He was expected to get his GM chance, and now he gets it with the New York Jets. As Zach Rosenblatt mentions, asking around about Darren Mougey, he said that he's learned he has a real presence about him, not even just talking about the fact that he's 6'4", which I think is actually lower. I think he's 6'6". He's very high IQ'd. He's got a skill. He's skilled at relationship building, dealing with ownership, building a staff, background in college and pro scouting, worked his way up the ladder. Both of those are great because, one, we know that Woody Johnson's tough to work with. There's no doubt about it. Woody Johnson and his weird kids are very much difficult to work with, and I say his kids are weird because they're teenagers, and teenagers are weird, and they shouldn't have any say in how an NFL team gets ran. But the Jets are weird, and Mougey's going to be someone who's good at building relationships. He's going to get Woody Johnson to like him and get him to trust him, and that's a huge part about being a GM, is getting your owner's trust so you don't feel like you're working against your owner and that you're working and that your owner's just supporting you. That's what you want, and obviously Woody Johnson likes to get involved, but Mougey has to be able to navigate that, which he's not the first guy to have to navigate a bad owner in sports, and it's a real tell how good you are. If you can navigate a bad owner, it tells that you're one of the best general managers in sports. So Mougey's got a high mountain to climb, but all indications are that he could do it. On top of that, The scouting is great. Obviously, we've seen great things happen with the Denver Broncos since Mougey's been around there helping them draft people, especially in the first round. But just in general, the Broncos have been good at drafting recently. On top of that, he's got a similar personality-wise to Kevin O'Connell, a friend of his from college. He's been in Denver a long time through multiple regimes. George Patton really liked him, enough to promote him upon arriving. He's built a good relationship with Sean Payton. He works closely and well with Sean Payton, who is one of Aaron Glenn's mentors in coaching. People around the league feel like he's ready for a general manager opportunity. So obviously something here is that one of the reasons why Aaron Glenn was really interested in the Jets job is because, well, for a while, the favorite for the GM role was Lance Newmark, who worked for the Lions for a while. However, something there fell apart. There was a second interview the same day that Aaron Glenn had one, and clearly whatever Newmark did in the interview, the Jets were not a fan of it, as then they opened up search to more guys, and they invited 2 more guys for a second interview, Darren Mougey being one of them, who now is the general manager of the New York Jets, which is an absolutely phenomenal thing for the Jets to find a guy who didn't have the greatest interview, and then the Jets said no. I mean, so often the Jets just hires some buffoon. They didn't do this time around. I really do credit the 33rd team with a lot of this. I think this was a genius move by the Jets to bring these guys in. I mean, especially looking at the way my green screen just freaks out, especially the way that the Commanders bounced back. As I said earlier, it's just things are looking good for the New York Jets right now, man. As Play Like a Jet on Twitter mentioned, just got intel on Darren Mougey that makes me feel a lot better about his Jets GM candidacy. He did have a heavy hand in the coaching search that produced Nathaniel Hackett, one of the worst head coaches ever. But Mougey was also the loudest voice advocating for his college buddy, Kevin O'Connell, who's obviously a tremendous guy out there, tremendous head coach. So I know it's his friend, but it's how connections work, and also at the same time, he was right. He was right. Darren Mougey knows what he's doing, man. I mean, two first-round draft picks over his time in Denver, because 2 of them got traded for Russell Wilson. Pat Surtain. I love Sauce Gardner, don't get me wrong, but Pat Surtain's the best cornerback in the NFL. I think Sauce is second. I think any given day, Sauce can be number 1. But Pat Surtain last season was the best cornerback in the NFL. 2 touchdowns on his career, 1 last year. Guy was phenomenal. 4 interceptions, 11 in his career in just a couple years in the NFL. Pat Surtain is an absolute monster. He's so talented. He's so good. Mougey was a part of that draft. And on top of that, Bo Nix, phenomenal year. The Broncos, they came back. First time back in the playoffs since they won the Super Bowl. 10-7 QB record. I mean, the Broncos knew how to draft, and part of the reason is because Mougey, he was a scout for a while, for college, for the NFL, local area, all over the place. Jets fans should be very happy with what they're seeing right now. The NFL draft is coming up fast. I know it's still January, but it feels like January's flying by, honestly, and before we know it, what we're going to be seeing is free agency begin, and we're going to see certain holes get filled and some not get filled, and it's going to become more apparent who the Jets are targeting in the draft, and there's going to be a ton of noise about that NFL draft. And when you look at it and see that you got a guy in Mougey who knows how to draft, it is a very, very promising sign. Going into a draft that is a bunch of defensive stars, it makes me feel comfortable the Jets are not going to reach on some quarterback and that they're going to draft someone based off best player available, which is what they should be doing on defense. Obviously, there's some caveats to that, like if there's a position that you don't need or something, but the Jets, they could use basically any position possible. I'd love for their defense to get just another star there. 7th overall pick, they are drafting and shooting for the stars, so it is going to be interesting to see who Mougey and Aaron Glenn choose to pick. Now, the rest of the Jets front office staff still has to be decided to a degree, along with the coaching staff, but that will come in the coming days. Now that the Jets have a GM and a head coach, they have the main brain trust there, which I'm very excited about. I'm really excited about the Jets hiring Darren Mougey. I think this is a great idea. Obviously, all Jets fans are loving Aaron Glenn. They should love Mougey as well, and we should not love the guy who I'm about to put up. But it doesn't feel like a pretty bad job done by Robert Wood Johnson for the first time ever. Feels like Woody might have gotten this one right with the help of the 33rd team. Now, I think if it wasn't for these guys over the 33rd team, we would have seen Woody Johnson probably hire Rex Ryan and make himself the GM or something like that. But nope, the Jets did it right. I truly believe the Jets are on the right path to get back to the playoffs now. We'll see if a rebuild's coming. We'll see what Mougey wants to do with Aaron Rodgers, who said he wants to sit down with the next GM and head coach and figure out his future with the New York Jets. So we'll see what happens there with Rodgers and Adams. Outside of that, we will see what happens in free agency. The Jets feel like they're coming back, man. I truly believe that things are going in the right direction. Things are trending up for the New York Jets. Guys, if you want daily updates on the New York Jets, rumors, trade stuff, all that stuff, make sure to subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down below on Darren Mougey. Guys, have a great day and go New York Jets. We're coming back, man.